Before closing her eyes forever, the Queen of France, wife of Louis XIV, sadly confessed, "I only had one happy day." Maria Theresa of Spain did not specify which day that was, and in this, she embodies everything. Misunderstood, unappreciated, unable to establish herself in France, unlike her aunt and the Italian Medici, and always seeming to play a supporting role. Despite holding the highest position in her new homeland, Maria Theresa remained just a shadow, and shadows rarely experience happy days. Her mother was a stunning beauty, arguably one of the most magnificent queens in history. Yet the girl inherited none of the exquisite beauty of Isabella of Bourbon. She was a Habsburg through and through, humorously resembling her father, the King of Spain. While it was customary in Madrid to exalt the looks of any princess, Maria Theresa looked at herself in the mirror and was too intelligent to believe the flatterers. The beloved mother of the Infanta was lost at a young age, followed 2 years later by her brother. Her father, the king, had to remarry to ensure Spain had heirs. His new bride was the former fiancée of his own son, a young Austrian princess. The stepmother and stepdaughter quickly became friends, even calling each other sisters, as there was only a 4-year age difference between them. Arranging a marriage for the Infanta was a matter of state importance, so the negotiations were lengthy and meticulous. One of the first suitors for Maria Theresa's hand suddenly passed away. A proposal to marry Emperor Leopold fell through, but the alliance with France was actively promoted by the other side. Anna of Austria, the Infanta's aunt, and her chief minister believed this match was the best choice for Louis XIV. However, a curious incident occurred. It was decided to prepare a portrait of Maria Theresa, and this task was entrusted to Diego Velázquez, who had a fruitful collaboration with the Spanish court. The artist created a true masterpiece, yet he flattered the subject not at all. It was no coincidence that his motto was, "I would rather be the best at depicting ugliness than second in beauty." In Paris, the portrait was not well received. Nevertheless, the interests of the state outweighed such subtleties. Thus, Maria Theresa was named the Queen of France. The transfer of the bride took place on the island of Faisan, the very spot where her mother had once said goodbye to her family before departing for Spain. Along with the $500,000 dowry of the Infanta, oranges and chocolate were brought to France. It was Maria Theresa who taught her new compatriots to enjoy the hot, sweet beverage, which instantly became beloved by all. In the novel by Anne and Serge Golan about Angelique, there are many pages dedicated to this moment, how chocolate became a daily dessert first for the nobility and then for the common people. Unfortunately, the queen did not speak French. Regrettably, she was not considered beautiful enough. The young King Louis, who had only recently parted with his first love, did not make much effort to connect with his wife. Of course, he regularly visited her chamber. They had 6 children together. Their firstborn, the heir to the throne, was born just a year after their wedding. Cannons were fired all day in celebration. The queen was showered with expensive gifts. Perhaps it was on that day that Maria Theresa felt truly happy. Her aunt, Anna of Austria, tried to engage the young Spanish woman in conversation. Remembering her own difficult early years in France, she offered Maria Theresa valuable advice on how to behave, how to respond to different people, whom to respect, and whose opinions to disregard. But the niece listened as if distracted. She was far too reserved and shy, and overcoming these traits proved impossible for her. It was a great disappointment to discover that the king did not love her. Her mother-in-law insisted otherwise, citing her son's courteous behavior and his obligatory politeness toward his wife, but that was clearly insufficient. Soon, Louis stopped hiding his attention toward other women, La Valliere and Montespan, who both lingered near the queen. Maria Theresa understood everything. She was deeply hurt by all of this. The favorites played such a prominent role at court, while she seemed to go unnoticed. Yes, she received all the honors befitting her rank. Whose favor were the courtiers trying to win? Certainly, La Valliere, whose wit and beauty were praised. Of course, Montespan, And what could be said about the queen? Practically nothing. She could have tried to step out of the shadows, but Maria Theresa never managed to do so. Her small court, with its own customs, existed almost parallel to Versailles. The queen was surrounded by Spanish ladies, her beloved dogs, and dwarf attendants. It was as if she had brought a piece of Madrid to French soil, never truly absorbing the spirit of her new homeland. The king's affections changed, and the favorites lost their power. Lavalier even publicly asked the queen for forgiveness as she retired to a convent, yet Maria Theresa remained in the shadows. This made it easier for her to endure Louis's betrayals and the deaths of 5 of her children. Only her eldest, beloved son Louis, the Dauphin, remained. While still quite young, she fell ill. Doctors discovered swollen lymph nodes, but they did not know how to treat such a condition. Maria Theresa died. Before her passing, she recalled her one happy day. What it was like. Unfortunately, that remains a mystery.